see, I came up here yesterday and was walking along and I saw a whole lot of deer tracks where they jumped over the fence here.
Mr. Brown's cows.
This is the remembering video. Please make me remember these 2 items. 2 hats. Yeah, okay. The remembering show. Remember these 2 items.
Okay, dude, are we ready for the intersection?
Yeah, I've never been in there.
This is cool. It closed me.
Is it safe?
Well, give or take a yes, no.
It's not a hard place to cross.
Daniel, where are you, buddy?
In the maze. It's funny in there. Can you see him?
I do now.
Okay. Just fall. And then try to make your way out. Okay. You did it, you'll be right. What? Okay, are you ready? Wait, I want a rock. I think I could break that from here. What? Just a sec. Just a sec. Play wrestling.
It is?
Yeah. If you get down, it doesn't matter. You have to fall through a crack. It's fun. It's hard. And what it does is probably poo. This is good. Hey, Mom said she wanted more of these. My head's too hot. I can't wear this.
You'll need it when we get out of that barn and walk around.
Where should I put it?
It's 19 degrees. Put it in your pocket or put it.
I made the remembering video.
It's a deer. Oh, it's my dear daughter.
Doe a deer. So where would you say the bucket was?
He was sitting here.
Brian's bucket, your bucket was right there, all right?
No, he was just sitting on the ground.
Sitting on the ground, okay.
Next to the tree here, and that deer, it had come down across here, and he spotted it right there, and shot it right there, and the guy tumbled, and then
So it was on the other side of this creek bed.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it came running through there.
Yeah, just walking, nonchalant.
Oh, walking, okay. Right on the other side of this creek bed.
And just about where Daniel and Matthew are now, except like 20 yards up on the side of that hill, that's where he first shot him.
And did he go down with that first shot?
Yeah, he flipped head over heels because it took out his 2 front legs, and then he ended up in the gully way down there. And he shot him again, and then that did him in.
And then how far did he travel after that? That was it. He dropped.
Yeah, after the second shot, because his front legs were gone, and he was just doing his rear legs moving.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another doe right there.
There's a deer doe. Oh no, that's my daughter.
And then there's a couple of button bucks down there, isn't there?
Yeah. in fact, there's, and Brian, I can show you where he finally went.
All right. Do a little panoramic. Heck of a place to pull a deer out. We're thinking that the deer was finally dropped about right here.
Yeah.
Here, okay.
And then Brian dragged it all the way up that hill, all by himself.
All by himself.
And boy, that is one heck of a teepee, let me tell you. That's why I don't hunt back here. The last time I hunted back here, which by the way was the last time that I've shot a deer, I was sitting in that same spot. That's why I had Brian sit there, because I know in this ravine I have to walk down eventually during the daytime. And if I shot a 6-point buck there year before last, and it ran over that way, was like up at the top, and that was before I had my problem, and that's when I had problems. I couldn't do anything with them, and I had to get Jim and his son to drag it out for me. And that was in November, and it wasn't until the following August that it really kicked up. But I should have known then. No good. But this is pretty, so quiet and peaceful.
Yep, here comes quiet and peaceful.
Together again. There they are.
Never again.
But I'm sure that they.
So what did the deer weigh? Field dressed.
His?
Yeah.
Probably pretty close to 180, 185 pounds.
It's a big buck.
Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful animal. Yes.
The meat was good.
Awesome.
Isn't it a lot of time when they're older, it's not as good?
Yeah, but
Yeah, the chili was great.
yeah.
We had some a month ago that Brian gave us.
Yeah, and he says that the steaks have been great.
Oh, really?
I mean, he got the best made up there yet.
He's having what, mate?
Some bratwurst.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, do they mix that with beef or pork?
They asked us if we wanted to, and we said no.
Just all deer?
Yeah.
Is it enough fat?
Oh yeah, yeah, and some spices and stuff. And I mean, it'll be. I have never had bratwurst. Yeah,
Deer bratwurst?
yeah. So I'm really looking. I got 20 pounds of it being made up.
Mom?
Flash.
Okay, Brian, we're signing off here.
Are we gonna keep? When? Oh, is that ready?
Can I eat?
Sure. Those are key.
It's 26.9 outside.
26.
26.9.
It's warming up.
Oh.
Let's go.
It was 18 this morning.
So, pops.
Tell them
Yes.
what you're doing. Tell them why you're interviewing them. Instead of just... Tell them why you're doing this.
Figure out information. I'm going to enter. Am I supposed to be talking into the camera?
Nah.
Nah. Just tell Pops so he knows.
I'm interviewing you for a school project,
Okay.
for a grade.
Okay.
So we're going to start out with childhood.
Okay.
When and where were you born?
I was born in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, but lived most of my life in Kittery, Maine.
What did your parents look like?
Well, my father was rather tall and thin, and my mother was average height, with always had white hair, and so she always looked old to me.
Where were they born?
They were born, and my father was born in Woburn, Massachusetts, and my mother was born in Newton, Massachusetts.
What did they do for a living?
Well, my father was he was in World War One, and then he sold insurance, and he was the deputy sheriff of York County in Maine, and then he went over to the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard and worked till he retired. And my mother was just a homemaker, and we took in boarders during World War II that worked on the shipyard, and she drove the school bus.
Who was the most unusual relative
The
that you
most
had?
unusual relative?
Mhm.
Probably my Uncle Lawson, who was the husband of my mother's sister.
And why was he unusual? I'm curious.
Well,
That's actually really
he was from Canada, and I don't think even had a high school education, and was vice president of Kroger Corporation out of Kansas City, Missouri, and lived out there for many, many years. And
That's where Uncle Mark got it.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's where Uncle Mark got his Kroger background.
Yeah.
No.
And they always had lots and lots and lots of money, and this was during the Depression and World War II. And I just thought he was most unusual. Always had brand new fancy cars and dressed very fancily. And
Wow. Again, like Uncle Mark.
interesting questions, by the way. Never thought of them. Very interesting.
How many brothers and sisters did you have? Were
I
you a
have-
close family?
I had no brothers and 3 sisters.
Were you a close family?
Yes and no.
Want to elaborate?
Not particularly.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, because alcohol played a big part in
Oh.
the family.
Yeah, that's
You're-
not.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. But they had a big part.
At what age did your family consider a person grown up?
I would say probably 21. And the reason that I say that, because my mother and father wouldn't ever let me drive until I got out of the service when I was 21 years old. And to this day, I thank them for that. Not at the time.
What kind of chores did you have to do?
Well, we lived on a chicken farm, and we also had a couple of 3 pigs every year, and we had to make sure that the chickens were fed and watered, and it was the old-fashioned way where you lugged the grain up to the hill, lugged the water up to the hill. It wasn't modern.
No turning on the faucet?
No turning on the faucet. Yeah, turning on the faucet at the house, and then walking up the hill, and we had probably 20 to 30,000 chickens a year. And we killed them and then sold them to the naval shipyard during World War II for all the military personnel.
I bet it stunk in the summertime.
Don't remember.
Did you ever wring a neck?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And I swore on the Holy Bible that I would never, ever, 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 ever eat chicken again. I used to hate chickens.
You know
They're
what
so
wring a
dumb.
neck means?
Yep.
Let Pops tell you. This is what he did as a little boy.
Take a perfectly good, healthy chicken.
Grab it by the head, go, snap it.
Yeah, you snap in half, you snap its neck in half, right?
And I used to get a penny apiece for every chicken that I killed, but we used to hang them up, and my 3 sisters and I would hang the chickens up by their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a long, skinny knife, and we would grab them by both sides of their crop and open up their mouth, and you stuck that knife in there, and we used to call it the feather brain. And it would kill the chicken, but at the same time it would release all the nerves on the feathers of the chicken, so you could just take and just pull all those feathers off without breaking the skin, because you couldn't break the skin back in those days.
Nice.
And
Seems
I
like
got
you
a
remember
penny
it
of
well.
chicken.
Penny of chicken.
I remember that. That's what I bought my first bike with.
What can you remember about your early days in school?
Nothing.
That's interesting.
But
You don't remember first, second, third grade at all?
At all.
A teacher's
Really?
name? Nothing.
The only teacher I remember was Miss Button. I think it was Miss Button. She was short and fat, and my spelling was horrible. And my mother made me go to summer school. Boy, I don't remember how old I was, just for spelling, because Miss Button. But I don't remember any of my teachers.
I have a follow-up question. Did they try to make you write right-handed like all the other kids?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
That could have been the spelling problem,
And, well, it was a spelling problem. It was a speech problem.
a writing problem.
Writing problem. Oh yeah, yeah, because you cannot write left-handed. I mean, we're talking what 70 years ago.
isn't that something?
But I overcame it. Stubbornness, because I wouldn't write with my right hand.
It probably felt weird.
I just couldn't write, and I wouldn't write. It was just, you know, you can't do it. It's just, it's not there. And they would, you know, tie my hand behind my back and wrap it up in send me a cloth bag or something and put, not masking tape, but some type of a yellowish tape up and around it so I couldn't use it. Yeah.
It's horrible.
But this was, you know, like first and second grade and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So much for nothing.
Yeah.
What was the biggest holiday that your family celebrated?
Christmas.
How did you celebrate?
We got fresh fruit, and that back then was the biggest celebration in the world. Was Christmas Day, we'd get up and have a fresh apple, and that'd probably be the only apple we'd get all winter long, because they didn't have that fresh fruits back in those days.
Are you telling a horror story?
No,
He's telling the truth.
no. Just
Well, Matthew eats about 6 apples a day.
But
So.
let me ask you, what did you think about Christmas morning? Even though all you got was an apple, what was it? A good day?
Yeah, yeah, it was all right. Holidays, I would get very sick. Like Christmas, my birthday, I could never celebrate a birthday without getting sick. And I think it was due to alcohol introduced, because it was always a time for getting whatever.
Over celebrating.
Yeah. So, Christmases were not pleasant times. But things have changed.
So they drank
Yeah,
the most alcohol on Christmas?
Yeah.
Sometimes people they celebrate too much, and then you don't feel good.
It's not really celebrating.
No, it's not.
Okay, next question.
How did your family survive the Great Depression?
I have a question. Did you know there was a Great Depression going on?
Never realized it.
Because you were
Well, I was born in it, but
Yeah. never lost anything because you didn't really have it, I guess.
yeah, oh no, we didn't lose anything. We grew all our own food. That's how we got through the Depression. And always had, you know, hogs and pigs. I mean, chickens and